The following is a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, certified financial planner practitioner. Also today I have with me Jeff Akers. He's a cousin, he's a vice president, and he's a certified financial planner practitioner. We've been working together for over 20 years. Good morning, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good morning, Brian. I'm doing well. And how about you?
Well, I'm Brian Akers, and I'm okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
No, it's a pretty good day. It's a nice day. A lot of things going on, so there's so much on my mind. I'm a little scatterbrained at times when the brain gets going too many places. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes your brain's faster than your words. But hold on tight to Winning in Retirement today, because we got a really good show for you, I think. So what we're going to do is this. In today's show, we'll bring you one of the most important things that you need to think about and act on right now. It's always the right time to do the right thing. Are you doing the right thing with your finances, for your family, and for your financial future? Your financial future is your responsibility. And as financial advisors, we seek to coach you into this brighter financial future. These are right things to do. So, Jeff, this topic, I think, is something that you love, and you've had experience doing this with many clients over the years. So where would you like to get started?
Well, doing the right thing, as we tell stories about clients, I just want you to know if it sounds like we're talking about you, we're not. We're just talking about experiences from our past. But these are things that are common that folks just put off. We like to procrastinate, I guess. So the first thing that I'd say folks procrastinate on is just making a plan, having a plan. We don't like to think about it. We get that first job, we go to work. We might sign up for a 401k. We'll talk about that later on, but we just don't have a plan in place what we're going to do. We're just excited about the new job, and that's it. And the next time we might think about it is when we're in our mid-50s or in our 60s, and then we think, oh, wait a minute, I'd like to stop working one day. And then you start thinking about the plan. So it's always the right time to start a plan. You're not too young. You're not too old. It is the right time to start a plan. So I'd say that's the first one that I would bring up. And I know you're going to get more specific here, Brian, so go ahead.
Well, I mean, I hear you say that, and you say, oh, let's do a plan. And I think, oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that nice? And the problem is most people are like, forget that. Just turn that off in your head. You know, it's like, I don't want to do a plan. A plan's work. A plan's a lot of work, and that's why you have planners, coaches that take where you are, take the plan, and create a plan for you so that you can be guided to where you need to be. The hard part is most people listening today don't want to do a plan. They don't want to talk about a plan, think about a plan, basically write down a plan. If somebody else will do it, that's wonderful. They're ready to get on board. All you got to do is tell them what to do, when to do. So some people want to design the plan themselves, and we have a few clients like that. Then we have other clients that want a plan designed for them and where they can come to meet their financial advisor and constantly be updated on what's going on and what's next. So what we're doing today is this. It's always the right time to do the right thing. Whenever you hear that word, the right time to do the right thing in your finances, what's the first thing that crosses your mind that you might have a little bit of a thought about that you really haven't done yet? Whatever that is, and it comes to your finances, let's make that number one. Now, what kind of things do you think that might be in people's head, Jeff? What do you think?
Saving is the first one that would come to mind. Mm-hmm. We need to save. If you're working and you have an employer-sponsored plan like a 401k, you need to take advantage of that. If there's a match and you're not maximizing that match, you need to change that. Today's the day. Make that change. Anytime that your employer is offering you money, if you will contribute, well, take the money, make the contribution so that you get that match out of them. So the 401k, TSP, 403b, whatever the employer plan is, if you're eligible for it, get signed up for it. That would be the first thing I'd say.
Yeah, but I don't think clients think that. Let me ask you this question, Jeff. All right, somebody's getting a paycheck. It's coming next Friday, that paycheck. Do you think people are thinking about how much can I save out of that check? Are they thinking about how much they can give out of that check? Or are they thinking, how can I spend that check? What is their first thought?
Yeah, they're thinking, what can I buy with this check? I've got a teenage son, and so even before he gets the check, he's thinking, what can I buy with my next check? So I'm talking about one of the things you should be thinking about. You're talking about one of the things that people actually think about.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is this. Let's start the show by saying it's always the right time to do the right thing. So the very first thing is this. Think financially. Think about how to make yourself better financially. One of the simplest things you can do is this. What is your net worth? Net worth is where you take everything you own, bank accounts, investments, retirement plans, life insurance, cash value, savings bonds, cars, anything like that, and then subtract all the debt you owe. Do you have a net worth? So by looking at that net worth, you then can say, well, am I doing better or am I doing worse? So if we take a look at where you are, we call this your financial fingerprint. Where's your money now? When we take a look at your financial fingerprint, we want to come up with a net worth. Because the best way to judge good financial planning is your net worth improving? If you're paying off debt, if you're saving money, if you're getting matching, if you're choosing good investments, your net worth will rise. And that's exactly what the byproduct of good planning would be. So when you're thinking about what is the right thing, we know it's the right time because it always is the right time. But what is the right thing for you to start thinking about? And that is just think financially a little bit and think about your future more than just today. One of the craziest things about credit cards is we don't have to put off our payment until our paycheck. We can go ahead and run that credit card up, and then when the paycheck comes, it's already spoken for. It might be spoken for the next couple years. Or every time you come in, the money's just running out the door to pay all the debts you already accumulated. Then there's some people who have a great living with a lot of income coming in, but when they look at their bills, there's nothing left over at the end because they've already pre-spent everything. So when it comes to finances, to do the right thing, you got to start thinking about your own financial future and think about what is right for you.
Right, and that idea of putting together a net worth, I know for some folks, like Brian said before, we don't want to think about it. It takes work. But that's why we're here as financial planners. So if you come, you meet with us, we're going to ask some questions, we'll see some statements, and we'll put together the net worth statement for you if you give us the information to do that and help you find that financial fingerprint. That's the beauty of being a financial planner is we do the work for you that you'd really, needs to be done, but you just don't want to take the time to do it yourself. That's why we're here. Let us help you with it.
All right. Do you have any good examples from this week? Because I do. I can't wait to tell some of my stories today during the show.
Well, how about we let you take yours? Because I've got one that might take a couple of minutes, and we'll put that in maybe the next segment, the next quarter.
Yeah. Well, here in the first quarter, I coach basketball, and I love the first quarter because that's where you establish your defense, and you do a good job of getting a few subs in, but not too many. You don't want to go crazy trying to keep your guys from fouling more than twice in the first quarter, and you try to not give them shooting fouls, some basics of fundamental basketball. Well, fundamental financial planning seems fundamental to me, except when a client comes in. We had a radio listener come in, and yes, they're probably listening too, so I won't say their name, protect the innocent. But they came in and they wanted to talk about where they are and how to set plans for their future. And so we started talking, and if you think about some basic things that people do wrong, they sort of did them all. One of them was he was 72 years old, and he did not draw Social Security yet. And so that was one where 70 is the maximum age. If you wait to 70 and a half, they'll let you go back to 70 and draw it. But he thought that he would lose his health insurance if he did not properly, if he drew Social Security and drew Medicare, he'd lose his current health care. He didn't want that. So we made him feel at ease with that decision. He drew Social Security, got a lump sum, 6 months, but he did miss about a year and a half of Social Security because of that decision. He also had a lot of money in a bank account earning zero. and he had a mortgage where he was paying like 6.5%. So he didn't refinance and he didn't use the money. And so the magic of financial planning is, hey, why don't we pay off your mortgage with the cash over there? Sounds brilliant, and it looks brilliant, especially when he just moves the money over. It's paid off by the second meeting. Very rare do we ever pay off a mortgage by a second meeting, but that was a pretty good one. But in financial planning, there is things where we get focused on one thing. That might be our job, our work, and we might make decisions that don't all come together or all help us. This happens a lot when we have a busy life. Many of us have a busy life, and that's when a financial planner needs to come alongside, is during that busy time of life, is to make sure you're still doing the right thing. The right thing is in every category of financial planning. The categories that are easy and fun, which is like investments, and the ones that are not as fun, which might be wills, which most people come to see us, don't come with a will or a trust or any type of planning already in place. So it's always the right time to do the right thing is a very important topic. You need to be defensive, and you need to have someone that's looking out for you. And that's what financial planning does.
And sometimes folks come in and, like Brian was describing, they describe their situation, and we talk to them about, well, here's a better way. And so as financial planners, that's our job, is to help you see a better way. Sometimes you get that tunnel vision, and you think, well, if I do this, then this might happen, and this might happen, and so forth, and then you just kind of stop thinking about it because it's too much. But we'll think it through and come up with a way to accomplish your goals. And so when you're in a situation like that, whether you're in your 20s or in your 70s, we're looking at things from what's the best way to get to where you want to go, and that's our job, is to provide that to you.
We really enjoy working with our clients. We have many brilliant clients that do all kind of different industries, all kind of leaders, and all kinds of jobs. And what we're able to do is to let them focus on what they do best, and we do what we do best. And you know what that is? That is helping people win in their retirement. The best part of retirement is actually when you actually retire, fully retire, and you get your time back. You decide how to use your time. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away when you retire. Your time is now consumed by things you want to do. To begin winning in retirement, call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone call, a virtual Zoom meeting, or an in-person meeting, mask to mask, with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit us at AkersFinancialGroup.com, or you can go to our Facebook page. It's 11:13 a.m. Do you know where your money is? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Imagine you're retired. You wake up in the morning and you don't even know what day it is. Every day seems like a Saturday. You can sleep in, cook a nice full breakfast without thinking about morning traffic or work deadlines. The Saturday calmness you used to crave is now your everyday feeling. You're not worried about your retirement income or how your investments are doing. Your biggest decision that day is where you're going to drink that first cup of coffee. Is that the kind of retirement you want? If it is, then sit down and talk with the team at Akers Financial Group. They want to help you get there. The families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
Long before 18-year-old Brooks Robinson was signed to play third base, and years before Natty Boh began brewing at the corner of Conkling and O'Donnell Streets, Baltimore families relied on the Evans family and the Evans Funeral Chapel and cremation services to help them during some of their most important family moments. Hi, I'm Charlie Evans, and for 4 generations, my family and I have been there for families, providing care and compassion in their time of need. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services provides the best facility, staff, and personalized service for your family. We have 3 convenient locations to serve the community: Parkville, Forest Hill, and Hereford. For more information, visit us online at evansfuneralchapel.com or call 410-665-9444. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services, serving Baltimore families since 1865. I invite your confidence.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're from Akers Financial Group, and if you haven't heard the word Akers enough yet, you should know that it is a family-run business. It's local. We're independent, and we're a financial advisory investment firm. We do a combination of things for our clients. We are registered stockbrokers, registered investment advisor, representatives, stockbrokers, and we have an insurance agent license. And what we try to do is to offer full-service financial planning that leads into full implementation. This show is called Winning in Retirement. And yes, you are in the second quarter of the show. The second quarter of the show is a very important thing to me. Typically, when I'm coaching basketball, second quarter is when I start to empty my bench a little bit. I try to see who's ready to play today and see what other defenses that might work as we go along. But in this show, we're going to cover a couple of things. Let me go right into it, Jeff. I have this question I asked at the end of the last break, and that is, it's 11:13. Do you know where your money is? Well, actually, it's 11:15, 11:16, but do you know? That's what we'll talk about here in the second quarter. What do you think, Jeff? What do you think about that?
Time keeps marching on. Well, we need to check our allocation. How is our money invested? Where is it? And it's one of those things that this past year, you might have gotten to March and said, I don't even want to look. I don't want to know. And you might not have even looked at a statement since then. Well, it's a good idea to check your allocation. If your allocation is right, when I say allocation, how much is invested in U.S. stocks or foreign stocks or whatever, how much is invested in these things? If your allocation is right, then you don't have to fear the statement. So we want to have a good allocation, and this is a good time to check it. It's always the right time to make sure your allocation is right. Once it's right, you don't have to worry about it for a little while. And we can get through the I'll call them bumps in the road. March did not feel like a bump in the road, but we can get through those times without being overly worried and concerned about it. We don't have to obsess over it.
One of the things to do here in January is to look at your statements once they come in. Yes, the mail's been pretty slow. By the end of the month, hopefully your December 31st statements will come to you in the mail. Electronic, you might have got it the next day, though. Just a hint. But you look at those statements. Another thing you can do is have us look at your statements. A part of financial planning is to gather information. If you go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com, you'll see up top thing that says documents. Underneath there will be some information about what to provide us to be able to have that first initial talk so that we can have some things to talk about and we find ways to help you. So when we're talking about the time, like when the news used to start, it's 11 p.m., do you know where your children are? One of the things about financial planning is, do you know where your money is? And what's important about that is some people might spend their lifetime, you buy through your work, you change job, you keep buying through the next job. And as you change jobs, most people change 6 to 8 times a career, and you leave money behind. And you have banks, and if you move, you might leave money behind. There's been almost like a collection growing in your lifetime. And what good financial planning does is ultimately we start to combine that to simplify and to make sure they all work well together. So one of the key ingredients is to know where your money is. Do you know how you're investing? Do you know what is actually invested in? Or did you just check a box on that first day of work 20 years ago and haven't looked at it since? There's a lot of things going on. We don't want you to be someone that just buys and forgets. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we don't want you to be someone that day trades it every day. We want you to have balance because you know the money is allocated right. So when it comes to financial planning, it's always the right time to do the right thing, and that is this: know where your money is. Make sure you do.
So knowing where your money is has to do with the allocation. It also has to do with what kind of account is it in. Is it in just a regular bank account? that's not a retirement account? Is it in an IRA or Roth IRA or a 401k or whatever? These all have different tax consequences eventually. And so I was going to do my my little case study now in here in the second quarter. I was talking to some folks this week that they're receiving an inheritance, and the inheritance that they are receiving is going to be taxable, and it's relatively large. And part of it, they've got 5 years to take all the money out and pay the tax on it. And for another account, they've got 10 years to take all the money out and pay the tax on it. So there's a limited amount of time. They're relatively young. They're not going to retire anytime during that 10-year span. And so as we were talking, one of them was not contributing to the retirement plan that was available. And so we talked about, let's go ahead and contribute to that. Let's maximize the contribution to that, because that will reduce your taxes, not as much as you're going to receive in this inheritance, but at least we're going to reduce your taxes some, and hopefully keep you from going up to the next tax bracket. The inheritance was going to be enough that it was going to create so much income that they would jump to the next tax bracket. So now is the time. It's early in the year. You can maximize that contribution. So let's get that done. And then we talked to the husband as well about, make sure that's bumped up all the way to the maximum. He was contributing already, but let's make sure that's the maximum. And let's get it going to the right places to help minimize the tax impact of the inheritance. In this case, it was someone that provided well and was leaving a lot to their children, and that's a great thing. But now for the children, we need to figure out what's the best way to receive this and try to minimize or mitigate the tax consequences of it. So the right time to make those choices, and we go back to contributing to the retirement plan, the employer-sponsored retirement plan, it's right now. We got to do it right now, because by the end of the year, we'll have that maximum amount in there that we can get, and their standard of living isn't going to change because they've got all this money coming from the inheritance. So we're just saving more and pushing that potential tax burden off to the future for them.
It makes me think of a couple of things. One is inheritance. When you receive inheritance, that's going to be happening over the next 20-some years, 30-some years, as the baby boomers generation is transferring wealth to the next generation. And so as people receive inheritance, they need a financial advisor involved so we can make sure we pay the least amount of tax and have a plan for how to receive the money to make this money last a lifetime. Inheritance can change your day or it can change your lifetime. You need to make sure you plan it properly. This past week in Maryland, there was a person who was blessed by winning the lottery out in Lonaconing, Maryland, and it's a beautiful little town. I drive through it every year when I'm doing a basketball camp. One of the cool things is that Lonaconing, the reason I remember is it was named after my grandmother, Lona, and Jeff's grandmother, Lona. So Lonaconing sticks in my head. But if you imagine that if you won a lottery, what would you do? Now, some people would spend that money quick, and that's your standard lottery winner, is they spend the money faster than they came in and typically bankrupt in a couple of years. What happens in planning is this. Don't just let it help your day. Let it help your lifetime. This happens with inheritance, large bonuses, or even stock market increases in your portfolio. So when you're examining your 401ks, we had a case this week where a client came in. He had 100% of his 401k was in stocks, and last year he went from like 550 down to 420, and then by the end of the year he was up to $890,000. Absolutely incredible roller coaster for the year. But he's 59 years old, and he goes, should I make any changes? I'm like, yeah, we should make some changes. And so we made a few allocation changes and rebuilt the portfolio for his 60s, and basically started to slow it down, to take a little bit less risk heading into retirement, because he's really close to having enough money to be retired now. And why risk it all when you're so close? When you have younger and you have smaller amounts, risking all of it makes a lot of sense, because you really need to make that money grow over a lifetime. So what we need to do is make sure financial planning fits into what you're doing. The other topic I want to end the second quarter with, Jeff, is this week in financial planning. There's a new president in town. Did you know that, Jeff?
I did know that. I was aware that was on Wednesday. There was an inauguration.
Yep,
and so
absolutely.
He was inaugurated, and then he went to the Oval Office, and he started signing executive orders like every new president does.
Yeah, he set a record, I think, for the most, and which is impressive. And one of them affects student loans. So in financial planning, if you have a student loan that's a federal student loan, they've extended where you don't have to make payments through September of 2021. So that means you don't have to make your monthly payments. That doesn't mean the interest on federal loans, the interest also stops, so it's not going to grow, but it doesn't hurt to pay something on other student loans. So if you have a federal loan, you wouldn't be making payments there, but what you would be doing is making your payments on personal loans, things like that. There is still the concept that they might forgive $10,000 of the federal loans, or maybe they might come back with something up to $50,000. Right now, we're just waiting for that information to happen for those. Our general advice, if you have a federal loan, probably not to pay it right now. Just wait and see what Congress and the President comes up with over the next few months to see how it would benefit you personally. The second piece that came out is that the federal moratorium on basically eviction notices that affects renters and landlords when it comes to how you work with your properties. So these are just a few of the things that started this week. As things happen each week, we're going to try to bring them up on the show so we know how to make that effectively and apply it to your own financial planning. So when it comes to student loans, make sure you know what you're doing there.
Yeah, so executive orders can only go so far. The other thing that will happen in the coming weeks and months is Congress is going to start passing bills, the agenda that Joe Biden wants to have. And so as those changes come along, those are things that are actually written into the code. That's the way laws are passed here. And we'll need to keep track of what's going on with them and how that affects our retirement plans, our planning for kids going to college. All kinds of different things can be affected by that. So we'll be paying attention, and like Brian said, we'll be bringing that up to you as we go through the year.
Akers Financial Group. We're local, we're independent, and we don't report to a big company in Wall Street. We report to you. We have offices in Farmville and Lutherville, but we serve clients throughout the state of Maryland, throughout the region, and throughout America. And we have about 7-8 clients all around the world now. So Akers Financial Group, with technology, we can help people in any way. And we're licensed in a lot of areas, a lot of ways. We look forward to helping you with your retirement and your retirement goals. The retirement that we plan for our clients is about you, not about us. To begin winning in retirement, call Akers Financial Group to schedule your free meeting. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom meeting, or an in-person meeting when possible with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for retirement now. Call us at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Only you can protect your retirement. More in a moment. Akers Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at AkersFinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Are there times in some games you wish you could just turn on the TV at the 2-minute warning? Because that's the most important part of the game, right? As a fan, these are the most exciting moments. Your team could take home the victory or crumble under pressure. But when it comes to your retirement, don't wait until the last 2 minutes. So much can happen in the final working years before retirement. Whether you're in your 50s or 60s, near or already in retirement, there's still time to put a plan in place. Don't wait until right before you retire to begin planning for your future. Can you win the retirement game like that? Come in and talk with the team at Akers Financial Group. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers, certified financial planner practitioner, and has a master's degree in marriage and family counseling, which is one of his best combinations when it comes to financial planning. He can actually talk to you and listen at the same time. Right, Jeff?
Yep. Every now and then in an appointment, I'll say, okay, this hat's coming off and this hat's going on, and we're going to talk about, how things are going. I keep the financial planner hat on most all the time, but every now and then we have to dive into something. And, so I'll ask questions that folks don't necessarily know are coming from a financial planner. But we need to know about your family so we can make the right choices financially.
Exactly right. Winning in retirement is about knowing the client, helping them win in retirement. That is the goal of Akers Financial Group, is for you to win in retirement. Here we are in the second half of the show. Second halves are always with winning time. You got to finish it up. Fourth quarter is when you close out the game, but second half you have to set the tone for what you want to do. The Ravens this last year, they always tried to delay to the second half. They wanted that ball coming out of that locker room, and they could come down the field and put some points on the board. So that's something we're trying to do now. We delayed to the second half. Now we're ready to go. All right, so we're in the third quarter. I hope you enjoyed your halftime snack, Jeff. So before the break, I said only you can protect your retirement. What kind of thoughts and concepts do you have on this subject?
Well, you mentioned someone earlier that they're getting ready, they're almost 60, they're turning 60, and all the money's in stock investments. So they're not, they don't really have a 60-year-old portfolio. We need to scale back our risk some. And so you're making the point that, our allocation helps us with this, with risk in our portfolio. And we need to be careful about what our allocation is, particularly as we get into our 60s and 70s and beyond. And so I've got someone who, she has a 401k, all of her money's in stocks, and she started putting some money into bonds, and she's kind of worried about what's going on and what's going to happen with interest rates and bonds and everything, which are all good thoughts for her to have, but she doesn't have money that's actually protected. And so what I'm going to be doing is going through with her. Here are some options. Here are some other types of allocations that you can have that can protect some of your money so that you don't have to worry about, is the stock market going up or down, or is the bond market going up and down, because we've got some things that are actually protected and earning a reasonable interest rate along the way. And we can also plan for income down the road. She's in her 60s now, so we're going to need some income eventually down the road. But I'll be meeting with her actually next week to start going over some of these thoughts and ideas that I've got in my mind.
Yeah, so this thing, what I tried to say was only you can protect your retirement. The word only you, and the fact that I keep bringing up the concept of you're responsible, the right time for you to do the right thing. The concept is this, is that we can't count on our government, our company, someone else when it comes to our finances. We have to count on what you do financially. You're not going to be taken care of later. You need to look at your finances and realize if I do the right thing now, I'm going to be okay in the future. How do you protect your retirement? You have to build one, first of all. So there's different people listening to the show. Some are younger. Save your money. If you can maximize, which is a lot of money, do it early and often. There are some mathematical formulas. If you save in your 20s, you can almost stop by the age of 30 and be better off than someone that starts in their 30s or 40s because you started early and you're using the compounding of interest and dividends and investment growth over time to win for your own retirement. Don't put off to a future to save. Save early. So compounding your money is extremely important when it comes to growing your money, and your money needs time to grow. So get it in there as soon as possible. Only you can protect your retirement. Pay tax now and never again is a great concept. If I save pre-tax and I save $1, later on they're going to give me 70 cents. They're not going to give me back my $1. They're going to want a piece of it. If I save to a Roth IRA, guess what I get back? The whole thing and the growth, all of it. And there's no one with their hand out or in my pocket at that time. So when you're saving your money and you want to protect your future, make sure you're taking advantage of everything you have in front of you. The younger you are, do a Roth IRA, do a Roth 401k, Roth TSP. Sign up for that. Pay the tax now. Make it fit in your budget. Cut something else out. The crazy thing about life is this. Whatever you bring home, you'll live off of that, and you'll spend every dime of it, no matter how much money you make or how little you make. And it's just crazy how we fill up those expenses so quick. So if you want to protect your own retirement, create your own. Don't count on anybody else. You need to make sure you're doing that plan for yourself.
Yeah, Brian's been at this for a long time, and so I've been working with him for about 20 years, like you said before, and Brian's been at this for over 30. So one of the first things he showed me when I started working with him was he drew a circle on a piece of paper, and he says, everybody has a certain amount of income. Your income might be really high, your income might be low, but everybody's got a certain amount of income. What you do with that income is what determines your financial future. And so the American way has always been, that's my income, I'm going to spend it, and it's just all gone. And so I made the case that if we carve out just little pieces of it, and we set some money aside to save, there might be some goals that we want to accomplish with giving that we could take care of. Cut that out first and then spend the rest. Act like what was left is your real income coming in. The federal government knows this. You don't miss it. The federal government knows it. That's why taxes are withheld from your paycheck before you ever get the paycheck. Because they know that if they take it out first, you're not going to miss it. You're not going to realize that it was gone. Well, do that yourself to benefit yourself with the retirement savings that's available through work and other things that you might be able to do. Carve out some of that income to use for savings and then just work on spending the rest and not spending the whole thing.
Yeah, the next part of it, when you think about only you can protect your retirement, is as you've saved and grown your money, you do got to take less risks as you get closer. And the sad part is a typical 401k plan does not have that many low-risk investments. They might have some bonds as their idea of a low risk. When interest rates are very low, like they've been, and interest rates, if you look at the current yield curve, you'd see over the last a month or so, the 10-year, the 20, and the 30-year is starting to curve up. We're starting to have that yield curve going up, which means long-term rates are starting to move. Not short-term rates haven't changed yet, but long-term rates are. When you see that happening, you're going to see that your current bond funds will lose money. And so you need to protect your investments by thinking about, if I move it to fixed or protect it, are bonds really the answer? So what happens is this. If you're in a 401k plan, I was looking at this one guy's portfolio the other day, and he had 2 bond funds and 2 money markets as choices, and that was it. The money market was making like 1%, which is actually pretty good for a money market. And then, thankfully, he was turning 59, so I explained that at 59 and a half, which is later this summer, he'll have the right to do something called an in-service withdrawal, where you can move money out of a 401k or any kind of retirement plan at 59 and a half, and that money can roll out to an IRA directly, which would be basically tax-deferred transfer, and then can invest it in investments that could bring you the lower risk side. And that's something, a way of building your portfolio to protect it for yourself, for your future, so you don't lose the money you've worked so hard for.
And you mentioned that a lot of 401ks don't have a lot of low-risk options. I was looking at one this morning where there was 1 international stock fund, there were 3 large cap stock funds, there were some bond funds, a couple of bond funds, but there were like 6 or 7 small and mid-cap stock funds. So it was very much pushed towards higher risk investments. Small cap stocks, those are smaller companies. You can get a lot of growth out of them, but they're also a little bit riskier. They're more volatile. And so this particular 401k just had a bunch of the small cap stuff and not a lot of the other things to choose from for a well-balanced portfolio of investments. So I was able to go through and do an allocation for him. But if he were older, like Brian's talking about, 59 and a half, you can do an in-service withdrawal, then we'd be looking at something like that for him.
Yeah, so financial planning is personal. And what that means is, what is the best thing in your situation? We have some people that like taking risk. And some of the things about taking the risk is sometimes they don't ever want any low risk. And so we sort of have to talk them off of that cliff backwards to where they start saving some more money. We get accused of being too conservative, but I think it's important to keep your money. Will Rogers in the 1930s, he had this real famous quote. It says, "It's not return on my investment I'm worried about, it's return of my investment." And as we get closer to retirement, you used to sit by a mailbox, wait for your check, but when you look at your bank statement online to see that your retirement check hit, you want to make sure it's going to hit and it's going to keep hitting. And so as you get closer and closer to retirement, you do have to balance your portfolios out in a way that you know it's going to be all right. Things don't go up forever. If you have stocks or investments that have performed tremendously well, there's a concept called take your winnings off the table. Taking the winnings off the table means it's okay to sell. Just like in springtime, you trim the good trees. You kill the weeds, right? And you kill the bad trees, get rid of them. But you trim the good trees to help them grow better to the future. So you can diversify and your portfolio will be around as long as you are.
And one of the low-risk kinds of things where we think we should have some money is in a savings account for an emergency fund. If things go wrong, this past year you might have lost a job for a while, or you might still be out of work. Having that money in an emergency fund means that you can continue to meet your standard of living, continue to pay your bills, even while you don't have the income coming in from your job. So having an emergency fund is important. It's not exciting, but it makes the rest of your financial plan roll along.
Absolutely. When it comes to winning in retirement, you need to start with what is your unique financial fingerprint. And that's what we do to start. And what happens in financial planning, we talk about where you are now. Maybe you are currently in a reaction mode. Maybe you're defensive in every way. It's like you're sitting on the sofa and you keep moving back and back and back, reacting, sort of slouching, you know. Reacting has an energy of being defensive. Creating, now you sit up, you sit forward, you have the forward-moving energy of creating. The people who will get through all of this that's going on in the best shape are the ones who take this opportunity, this time to be in the creating mode, in the solution mode. It's a choice. We want you to win in your retirement by taking this opportunity to begin planning with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom meeting, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning a retirement now by calling 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Important decisions are exactly what you must do right now to become financially independent. We will explain in a moment. Akers Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at AkersFinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, president of Akers Financial Group. I'm a certified financial planner, practitioner, and host of the Winning in Retirement radio show. And then we bring in co-hosts or co-support staff. I'm not sure exactly what to call my cousin Jeff, but Jeff Akers is here with us. Hey, Jeff, you warmed up for the fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say co-zen because I'm cousin. So,
yeah,
co-something.
That's cool. Yeah, I almost got the joke. All right, so you put your four fingers in the air, enter the fourth quarter. What's your favorite way when you're watching a game in the fourth quarter? What scenario do you like to see in a fourth quarter?
I like for my team to be way up, and they're just going to the end. They're going to win.
So, yeah, well, that's the easiest thing, right? That's less on your heart, not stressful in any way, and you sort of know you're going to be all right because you could give back a little bit and still survive. But when you're watching two teams you don't care about as much, you always want the losing team to come back, right? You want to make it interesting, so it's worth watching because a 25, 30-point empty-to-bench game isn't exciting at the end. But as a coach, fourth quarter up 25, you do get to relax a little bit. Now, the reason I bring that up is that when you're winning in retirement, if you can breathe and relax and say, I'm good, that is the best thing about retirement. We want you to be where you're good for retirement. You don't have to take more risks to just barely make it. You're okay in financial and your financial independence. And that's exactly what we're trying to cover here in the fourth quarter. And that is this. Important decisions are exactly what you must do right now to be financially independent. Financially independent is where you go, yes, I'm good. You got that big lead in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly what we want to talk about as we're going through planning when it comes to it's always the right time to do the right thing. It's always the right time to do the right thing. So in the fourth quarter, we're going to finish this game out. We want each client to finish out their saving and their work years so they can win in retirement. So give us some ideas, Jeff, on what we got to do. Let's hammer some ideas here in the fourth quarter.
Well, to finish strong, you've got to remember what got you there. How did you get that big lead? You were saving. You're setting money aside. Any debts, you're paying them off. As you're getting into retirement, hopefully the only debt that you might have left is a mortgage, and that's close to being paid off. We want to finish that off, get rid of that, because that's the one debt. We're going to have some expenses that come up in retirement with regard to health care that's going to kind of replace your mortgage payment. So by having the mortgage paid off, we've got the money then that we can use for our health care expenses as we go through retirement. So paying off that debt. We do need to remember that even in retirement, we need to own some stocks. We don't know how long we're going to live. So having some stocks for the future, 10 years, even 20 years down the road is important. So we're always going to want to have a little bit of stock. Now, we might need to trim that stock some, and we're certainly going to need to look at the allocation of those stock investments, but it's going to be important to have them. We don't completely get rid of them just because we're retired, we're 60, we're 70, even 80 years old. We're still going to have a little bit of stock.
Right. So if you're making a little list mentally or on paper or on your phone or wherever you like to make your list at, what you got to think about is your situation, and that is this. Check the following things. Have you done your 401k? How much are you putting in? Can you raise it? How much can you raise it? Let's go ahead and do that. Can it be a Roth? Can it be a Roth 401k, a Roth IRA? Are you putting money into that? Do you have proper beneficiaries at your work? This is something that we came across this week. We had a brand new client, just talking to them a little bit about things. And I look at their statement and I said, well, who's this person? And they go, that's my daughter. And then the wife says, oh, so she's the beneficiary on your retirement account? And I said, I'm just reading what's here. We can always fix everything. And then I said the second name, who was the contingent. She goes, oh, your niece gets some money too. And so the husband was like, yeah, I haven't fixed that. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a second marriage. They just got married a year or two ago. And so silly me says, oh, how long have you guys been married? And guess what he said, Jeff?
I'm guessing it was more than a year or two.
It was 16 years. 16 years. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right, we're going to fix that right now. And we'll get all the paperwork for you. We'll make sure it's taken care of so that your new wife will get this benefit. So that was unusual, but part of financial planning and something that it was the right time to do it right now. So what happens is this.
Running down the hall.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Brian comes running down the hall, says, Jeff, we need the Masters in Marriage and Family Counseling for a few minutes here.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's think about a couple of things. Do you have for your family and your personal finances, like once a month, where you take a look at where your money is? Do you spend time thinking about your personal finances? What we recommend is this, is you and your wife, you by yourself, whatever your family setup is, take time where you sit down and look at your finances to know where money's going, where is money being spent. You'd be amazed at where money's going. It's scary some months to look at where money's going, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can fix that. I can save money here, save money there, and then I could put more money away in retirement. Our goal is to find money so that we can then save it. If we can save it and hide it from ourselves, throw it into our future, there'll actually be money waiting for us when we need it. So we need those things to be set up. We need to make sure that happens right away. All this works when we have a good job. So sometimes we have to do the reverse for younger clients. So they might come in here with a job that might pay minimum wage, which might get a small raise coming up here soon. But the reality is they might need to change into some type of trade job, some type of job that pays a whole lot more and not be satisfied with that minimum wage range of pay. But they might need some training, some schooling. They might need to save money to invest in themselves so that they can then move forward and be able to save money to their future. It's time to do that. It's always time, the right time to do the right thing. And these are some very big decisions on use of money that you need to make for you and your family.
And some of the things that come up and that people don't like to think about, we talked about earlier, having legal documents in place like a will. Even if you're young, married, but you have children, then having a will is important, if for nothing else, because it determines guardianship for your children. The other thing that we need to think about is insurance. There are a lot of folks that just don't have enough or the right kind of insurance to cover themselves. You might be the main breadwinner for your family, and if you pass away, then how is your family going to get by without your income coming in? So having the right insurance, the right amount of insurance, the right kind of insurance is something that protects your family and is a way of showing your love towards them. As we get older and we're getting closer to retirement, maybe even in retirement, there might be some other kinds of insurance that we need to have. Insurance protects our family. It protects the plan that we've done. We might have done everything right preparing for retirement. We might have saved money, allocated right. But if something happens that's unexpected, it can take all that right out. It can wipe that out. And so insurance protects against those kinds of things. And that's where having a planner to help you figure those things out is important. It's stuff that we don't like to think about, but we need to think about at least once, get it taken care of, and then we can sit back like Brian was talking about, relax, and feel good about how things are going.
It's always the right time to do the right thing. That means you need to do something. The show today is this: do something now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. If you want to make sure you're financially independent in your own time, under your own circumstances, you need to take that first step. We believe that you need a financial planning coach, someone alongside who comes along with you and your family and guides you to where you need to be. Someone that will help you make the decisions, help you know what's right for your exact situation. We think it's a lot easier to have someone with experience who's been around for many, many years doing financial planning to be that kind of guide. So Akers Financial Group is built around that. We've built the offices with financial advisors, with operations and support staff, paraplanners, follow-up, education, all kinds of information out there. This week on AkersFinancialGroup.com, if you go on our webpage, you can go to webinars, and you'll see that this Thursday at 4 p.m. we're going to have another webinar. And that webinar is our market review of 2020 and our market outlook of 2021. For those that actually sign up through the webinar and watch the video, there's a special prize this coming week, which I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch the video to see it. Now, these webinars, if you can't do 4 o'clock on Thursday next week, what you can actually do is you can sign up for it and you can watch it later, because once we have it produced and shown out on through our webinar access point at the website, people can then go back there and see the recording at any time. So our webinars site has a lot of other webinars we've done last fall. We're going to be doing webinars about every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. So stay tuned to our website at AkersFinancialGroup.com to get that kind of information. Also on the website, go a couple tabs over to the right and you'll see radio. And under radio, Winning in Retirement, you can see where all of our recordings of our shows are. So you can hear these shows again and hear portions of it. You can replay some mess ups that I do when I stutter step on my words. You can also play just thoughtful comments and play them 2 or 3 times so you can really take notes from what you need to learn and do.
Yeah, so we like to educate our clients. We want to make sure that our clients know what's going on. And like these webinars and the radio show, it's a way that we can help to educate a little bit folks that might not be clients yet. And so we encourage you to listen and see those things as well.
All right, thanks very much, Jeff. Thank you guys for listening to Winning in Retirement. Akers Financial Group wants you to win in your retirement. We want you to have a very low-stress retirement years. We want you to know that your retirement income and investments are all taken care of by the team of advisors at Akers Financial Group. So go ahead and start your financial planning now by giving us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you leave us a voicemail message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone call, virtual Zoom meeting, or in person with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on Winning in Retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.
The preceding was a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Are you reacting or creating with your investments? When you have a sound financial plan, you don't have to be reacting every day. Let us help you create. Tune in to Winning in Retirement Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 105.7 The Fan. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisory services offered through Kalos Management Incorporated, both located at 11525 Parkwood Circle, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30005 678 1100. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services.
Broadcasting from the Thompson Creek Window Company studios. High-quality windows at an affordable price. Direct from their local factory. This is WJZ-FM Gainesville, Baltimore. 105.7 The Fan. A Radio.com sports station.